So I'm sure everyone watching this knows the YouTube channel Rooster Teeth, especially if you've been around YouTube during the last decade. They were a huge channel back in the day. They still go pretty hard, but they were a big part of a lot of people's beginning into YouTube. I remember people in school and middle school used to always talk about the YouTube channel Rooster Teeth. I wouldn't say they've completely fallen off a cliff, but things have seemed to got a lot of worse in the entire Rooster Teeth workplace. It looks like they were apparently bought out by Warner Brothers, and so they got a lot more corporate, and during this takeover they got things like an HR department and that kind of thing. And it looks like even with this corporatization and an entire HR department for figuring out problems that employees have with the company, things have not only not gotten better, but it sounds like things have honestly gotten worse. So in this video we're going to go over a response that pretty much summarizes the kind of workplace harassment a lot of employees seem to be having with the company, and then the Rooster Teeth's official reply. Only 18% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Don't be part of the 81%. Subscribe to the channel. You have nothing to lose. There was a Reddit post that came out from one of the alleged employees saying, "Yep, this is what F's me off the most. A bunch of people in the community are lapping up this largely meaningless, empty apologies, ignoring the fact that there's nothing that actually changes." The question of whether or not Gavin or Greg are nice people now who actually give a F. This is a question whether Rooster Teeth has improved as a company and its treatment of employees, and the answer is very clearly, very resounding no. And we, the community, keep letting that slide because individuals apologize and promise they've changed and cry on camera. At this point, even this feels disingenuous. It feels like deflection. Yes, it was really shitty that people in the H nickname the F word. Yeah, apparently that was one of the big parts that some of the employees were calling one of the employees, I don't know about their sexuality, but the F slur, which is derogatory towards people of the LGBT community, and they found a way to secretly put it into videos to make fun of this person, which is it's really shitty behavior, especially when you're working in this kind of creative field where you should be very lucky. Continues on by saying, and came up with a code word so they could use it in videos they clearly knew they were beyond the line, and frankly, I was just trying to have a joke is an effing terrible excuse. You knew it was effed at the time too, or why did you need to hide it? Good point. But the real story is that the effing company itself did nothing to solve this when Kaden came forward internally. Instead, she was pushed aside further and further out of the views, disgustingly underpaid and completely ignored. Again, I don't effing care what Geoff is a lovely person now or is still complete a-hole. I care that the question is being used to distract us from the fact that Rooster Teeth is definitely the worst job I've ever had, this one employee apparently says. This is a consistent sentiment from the massive numbers of ex-employees, and it's not improving. And that fact is promoted when Kanan came forward in the first place, Matt getting fired and putting on a part-time contract despite being effing integral to the part of the animation team. I'm effing sick of it, and it's not because I'm some hater who stopped watching years ago, but because I've been watching Rooster Teeth content for literally more than half of my life. I grew up watching these people and known that even after numerous very public airings of their grievous, repeated apologies and promises to do the better, the people I like at the company are still being taken advantage of and are still in a horrible work environment. It's still a big chunk of the communities, and it seems to be anyone still at the company wants to talk about and the character of individuals working there. Yeah, so these are some very serious claims made against Rooster Teeth. These claims are really embarrassing to Rooster Teeth. I mean, think about working on an animation YouTube channel, being creative with that. It's a creative field where you get to work on YouTube videos. It should be a pretty positive environment. But what it seems to be is when employees of Rooster Teeth decide to bring up problems they have with either other employees or the company itself, they get pushed out of the way. I mean, one of the girls, it was even being called the F slur and hidden. They were sneaking it into videos to, demean this person. And when she came forward and told the company hey, this is not okay behavior, I should feel, I shouldn't have to deal with this crap while I'm, being an integral part of your animation, part of your YouTube channel. It sounds like she pretty much got pushed to the side, which is really unfortunate. Rooster Teeth did come out with a response, however. They said they posted on their official Twitter saying, "As a company, we sincerely apologize for the hateful and harmful behavior that we have occurred in the past. We must do better and we are sorry. Here's what we've done to improve. We put an entirely new PR team, the People's Team, upper management and corporate oversight into place in 2020, leading to major actions and protocols. These resources have allowed us to immediately investigate the claims made over the last couple days. Upon investigation, we confirmed Caden's work was paid in full according to our agreements. We will honor our agreements and address any outstanding payments. While there is still room to grow, we have gone to great lengths to minimize crunch, especially in animation. We removed previous management and are actively implementing key hires across the company. We have integrated management training to develop better schedules and practices. New leadership proactively took coercive action by creating pay bands for the first time in 2020 and adjusting employees' pay to meet market value. We recognized past low wages and implemented tools to ensure continued pay equity, including paid internships and paid overtime." As part of the DUI effort, we established 6 business resources groups in early 2021 to inspire change within our culture. Leadership was initially voluntary, and this summer we implemented a compensation plan for this essential work. This policy will continue going forward. We want to uplift and diverse voices in our companies and community and content. And have challenging conversations necessary to grow and increase an inclusive, welcoming environment. Hate and mistreatment has no place here. We have been continuing to change to avoid repetition and remain accountable. We continue to encourage staff to reach out directly to the People's Team or use an anonymous reporting tool with current situations, content updates. We're reducing Rooster Teeth programming and content writing this week. We're taking this time to reconnect with one another, and we'll be back making content next week. Do not harass any Rooster Teeth staff. Many of them are actively working to make Rooster Teeth a better place. Now let's go over a couple of these claims just point by point. So it does seem like Rooster Teeth has made some very positive changes to their company. A new HR team, I guess that's a good thing to implement. I like that they can investigate claims, when stuff like this comes out. They are less into crunch. That's a good thing. Crunch is a big problem in a lot of industries. Now they're paying for internships and overtime, which is a good thing, especially for a YouTube channel. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to believe a YouTube channel like Rooster Teeth is making so much money that they can pay for overtime and people that are just doing internships, but that's a big thing, I'd say. Now they say they want to uplift diverse voices in their content and community, which is great and all, but you know what? It just really sucks to see that it doesn't seem like this is a whole problem with Rooster Teeth as a whole, but there's certain people in the company that are doing terrible crap, and it looks like they're continuing to get away with it. What is the point of having an HR team come in and measure responses with employees if this first time someone comes to them and says, hey, someone's calling me a slur behind my back, and even using it in videos, they pretty much do nothing about it seems like. Now I'm happy that they acknowledge that this was a problem, but I think it falls a little short because they say it feels like a very HR kind of apology when they say we want to uplift diverse voices, but when someone's being called a slur, there's pretty much nothing done about it. And it's like, well, should someone be fired for calling someone a slur behind their back? Maybe not. There could be an apology given, or a promise to do better in the future, but I think it's a little more than just calling someone a slur. It's calling someone, sneaking in a slur towards another employee, and it seems like every opportunity they could throw it in there without getting caught, and that is like some really weird behavior. I don't know what this employee did to piss off these hosts as much it was. I don't exactly know who was throwing in the slur, but constantly calling someone a slur while you're making content is like really weird behavior. And I mean, I think it's wrong that Rooster Teeth let this employee continue working for them, especially if they're constantly harassing another employee. That just doesn't seem like a healthy work environment, but I'd like to see how Rooster Teeth continues to make changes. They said in the thing, a lot of people at Rooster Teeth are actively working to make it a better place, and I do believe that. I mean, Rooster Teeth is still a very major channel. They're still getting, plenty of views. Some of their last animations have gone, 100, 200,000 views. So they're still doing more than well off, but Yeah, it scares me to see companies in this kind of position where, I mean, it's a creative field where they're getting literally paid to make YouTube videos and people are still being dicks and, you know, sneaking in slurs to YouTube videos against an employee. That's just weirdo behavior, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. The other day we made a video talking about how Twitter is trying to cancel PewDiePie again for something he did 5 years ago. This is a video you're not going to want to miss. Click here to watch it now.